Hello guys and most welcome to Rapid Tech. 2020 has so far been one of the biggest years for gaming, with some of the biggest and most anticipated titles of the last few years finally released. However, with no news of a GTA sequel in sight, 2020 remained a somewhat quiet year for Rockstar Games, with only the news of a next-generation release for GTA 5 making the headlines. CD Projekt Red, on the other hand, has been firing on all cylinders to get Cyberpunk 2077 out to the public. The game has now been confirmed to have gone gold, which means it will finally be out to the public. Cyberpunk 2077 is an upcoming action role-playing open-world video game developed and published by CD Projekt. It is scheduled to be released for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Stadia, Xbox One, and Xbox Series XS on 10 December 2020. There is a bunch of different amazing features of this game to talk about. So let's explore this game a bit in this video. So, the game is adapted from the Cyberpunk franchise. The story takes place in dystopian Night City in the year 2077, an open world with 6 distinct regions. Players assume the first-person perspective of a customizable mercenary known as V, who can acquire skills in hacking and machinery, an arsenal of ranged weapons, and options for melee combat. V is a mercenary whose voice, face, hairstyles, body type and body modifications, background, and clothing are customizable. The gameplay is influenced by the character classes that players assume, which are Netrunner, Techie, and Solo. The perk tree branches into melee, blades, handguns, shotguns, rifles, sniper rifles, hacking, two-handed combat, assassination, cold blood, engineering, and athletics. So, it looks like there are lots of conflict resolution options. As Cyberpunk 2077 is a first-person RPG with a serious lean towards FPS gameplay, so there are lots of guns, and you'll have melee options too. Here are the 4 classes of weapons, each of which has variants you'll be familiar with like pistols or shotguns, followed by the up-close weapon types. 1. Power weapons. Power weapons are the closest to current-day guns. The big difference is that they're capable of ricocheting bullets off surfaces, so you can shoot enemies hiding behind corners and cover. You can see how your bullets will bounce with a handy preview line as you aim. 2. Smart weapons. Smart weapons have enemy tracking tech that lets you bullets chase down targets, even when you aren't aiming directly at them. Like power weapons, it's a handy trick for hitting targets around corners. 3. Melee weapons. Melee weapons may not be futuristic guns, but they're not low-tech either. So far we've seen options like a thermal katana, a super hot blade for slicing and dicing. 4. Cyberware. For a more serious commitment, you can also turn your body into your weapon of choice with cyberware implants. There are horrifying mantis arms, super strong gorilla arms, and a projectile launch system that's basically a grenade. Rockstar Games have prided themselves when it comes to the amount of detail packed into the maps of the GTA games. It is truly an astounding feat of game development, as the company has been able to push the boundaries of detail in the GTA maps. The purpose of the map in GTA is to provide, first and foremost, a playground for the player to explore. It introduces the player to a sprawling and immersive game world that adds to the narrative themes of satire with its detail. The maps are, therefore, understandably large, much larger than that of Cyberpunk 2077. Cyberpunk 2077 is not all that bothered with size as much as it is with detail. The objective of CDPR was to create a dense map, packed with more information and detail, which, in turn, makes the game feel bigger with more things to do. Cyberpunk 2077 takes the concept of a dystopian future and cranks up the volume to a 100. It isn't bothered by a pretense of reality and would much rather take creative freedom with many of its elements. That's not to say that the game isn't grounded in reality, but it certainly makes a lot of differences. So that's all I got for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.